It's been a while since I've updated you on my lawsuit, and that's not because there's nothing happening. It's because a lot has been happening. This case has been very active behind the scenes. So here's where things stand. I have brought claims against Hulu, Free Arts Entertainment, and 20th Television, 20th Century Television, Fox Television, and also Komut Production, or Komut Entertainment. These are companies that, interestingly, all consolidated under one law firm. Shocking. There's also an individual defendant, Leslie Collins Small, because she's the person that I pitched my series to directly. Now, that's the same series that I allege ultimately became what people now know as Mid-Century Modern. She's represented by Matthew S.L. Cate, while the corporate defendants are represented by Jean-Paul Jassy. These are separate firms, but from my perspective, their positions have been closely aligned throughout this case. Now, both sides filed what's called an anti-SLAPP motion. That's a legal tool designed to end cases early by arguing that the claims are based on protected speech. In plain terms, their position is that this lawsuit targets speech, so it should be dismissed immediately. My position is very different. I'm not suing over speech. I'm not criticizing a show. I'm not challenging creative expression. My lawsuit alleges something much simpler: that I submitted a project and that it was used without compensation, credit, or involvement. Under California law, that's analyzed as a potential implied-in-fact contract, not a free speech issue. Now, here's where things get procedural. When an anti-SLAPP motion is filed, discovery is automatically paused. That means I was blocked from obtaining evidence while they submitted 7 declarations in support of their position. 7. So I filed a separate motion asking for limited discovery. Not everything, just enough to test those claims, and meaningfully opposed their motion. Well, I was denied, and despite being limited, I still opposed, and the court issued a split ruling. The motion was denied as to Leslie Collins Small, meaning my claims against her moved forward. But the same motion was granted as to the corporate defendants. Same underlying allegations, same core theory of liability, 2 completely different outcomes. So now the obvious question becomes, how does a case proceed against the individual who is acting within this professional relationship representing this group of companies? That inconsistency is now one of the critical and central issues of my appeal. And yes, I am now in the appellate phase before the California Court of Appeal. What I actually like about this stage is that appeals create a lasting record. Trial courts resolve disputes, appellate courts shape legal standards. And if an opinion is published, it can influence future cases well beyond this one. So regardless of how long this takes, these issues don't just disappear. They get preserved. Now, to be clear, everything I'm discussing here is based on the allegations in my case and the court's rulings so far. And from my perspective, the legal question is straightforward. This case is about whether a submitted idea can be used without compensation, not about whether someone has the right to speak. I've also presented evidence of substantial similarity between what I submitted and what was ultimately produced. Evidence that I believe satisfies that burden at this stage. So right now, the case moves forward on 2 tracks: an active appeal involving these corporate defendants. Once again, Hulu, 20th Century or Fox Television, Free Arts Entertainment, and Komut Entertainment or Productions. So there's also the ongoing case against Ms. Small. At the same time, I'm making this process public because if this can happen to me, it can happen to others. And people should understand how these situations actually play out. I'll be posting filings, exhibits, and updates so you can review the record for yourself. These aren't opinions, These are the actual documents. If you want to follow along, go to midcenturymodernlawsuit.info, and there's more coming. And I'll continue documenting this as it unfolds.